Hello and welcome to another episode of Coach's Commentary. I know you all are very excited and there's a lot of anticipation because the big clash between India and Pakistan is about to get underway in a few hours' time in the Asia Cup. Pakistan and India have faced off 17 times in the Asia Cup, and India has got better numbers. They won on 9 occasions, and Pakistan have done on 6 occasions. So Pakistan will be looking to try and improve upon their numbers and also try and narrow the gap as far as the success rate in the head-to-head contest in Asia Cup goes. So what is it that they'll be looking to do? They'll firstly try and review the 11 that played against Nepal. I felt that they were a little bit short on batting, but they could manage because Iftikhar Ahmed came to the party and played a blistering knock. And of course, Babar Azam got a big 100 as well. Babar Azam will be hoping that his form continues and also Iftikhar Ahmed continues with that swashbuckling form of his. But however, it's not the same playing against India, and therefore he needs to look at what are the options that he has and what changes does he need to make, if any. I think he's got a clear case of having to bolster his batting a little bit because he needs to obviously take into account the strong batting lineup of Team India and make changes accordingly. Now, what is it that he can do? He can perhaps try and give a break to Mohammad Nawaz and give the role of the left-arm spinner to Fakhar Zaman. He will persist with his three seamers because they are his best bets against India because they've done reasonably well against India in the past. And of course, you would like those medium paces to be backed up by a variety. As far as spin is concerned, you would stick to Shadab Khan, the right arm leg spinner. And of course, Iftikhar Ahmed is an important cog in Pakistan's wheel. So, what are the batting options does he have? He has Shah Shakil, who's a batting all rounder, and of course, he has Abdullah Shafiq, who's a pure bat. Will he go for the batting all rounder, Shah Shakil, or would he go for Abdullah Shafiq? That's the question he's got to answer. And of course, it's a key game, and he would be wanting to really carry forward the momentum as a batter and as a captain. I'm talking about Babar Azam here, and his form is a vital factor for Pakistan to do well in the Asia Cup, and of course later on in the World Cup as well. It's not that only Babar Azam has a lot of conundrums to solve. Rohit Sharma has a handful on his plate as well. KL Rahul has been ruled unfit, and with Shreyas Iyer coming back after hiatus due to injury and Sky not being the best of form, he's got middle order worries too. But the fact of the matter is that he's got enough choices from which he can make a good call. Obviously, you'll be opening the innings, and the question will be who walks out with him? Is it going to be Gill or is it going to be Ishan Kishan? Because of the fact that KL Rahul was ruled out and Ishan Kishan has done well in the ODIs, I think he would get the nod. And it will be prudent for Ishan Kishan to be sent up the order. In fact, he needs to open, in my view, along with Rohit Sharma. Shubman Gill can come at number 3 because he does have that little bit of vulnerability of the ball coming back into him. And we all know what Shaheen Afridi can do when the conditions are right. And with the new ball, he can really make the ball talk. And then Gill at 3, then of course King Kohli will be at 4. And he'll be looking forward to this game because Pakistan is something that really revs him up. And he would be wanting to make a substantial contribution for his side. And then, of course, that is after Kohli, the problems start or the questions that crop up. Who's got to go at 5? Between Shreyas Iyer and Sky, it's going to be a tight call for Rohit Sharma, but I think you're out for Shreyas Iyer because Shreyas Iyer is cracked the court to get runs in the ODIs, and Sky, even though he's extremely talented, he can still be a match winner provided he plays a few games on the trot in the ODI format. But as of now, Shreyas Iyer needs the confidence as well because he's coming back after hiatus and he's reportedly in good nick in the nets, and I think he'll get the nod. Hardik Pandya will obviously figure at perhaps number six, and Rohit Sharma also has to take a lot of calls and has got to think a lot about the bowling combination that he's going to field. As far as the bowling department is concerned, Jadeja should be obviously the lead spinning all rounder to play. Of course, Akshar Patel is really performed extraordinarily well. But in case Rohit Sharma needs to have some variety in his bowling, he would go in for Kuldeep Yadav, because having two orthodox left-arm spinners is perhaps something that can hurt, especially when you're playing against good batters of spin. You need to have that little bit of variety and also the surprise element that a wrist spinner can produce. As far as the fast bowling department is concerned, I think Bumrah, Siraj, and Shami would be the options that the Indian skipper would go for. So, what is it? Final combination that will likely play against Pakistan. It could be a case of Rohit, Ishan, Gill, then Kohli, followed by Shreyas Iyer, Hardik Pandya, the left-arm spinner Jadeja, then Kuldeep Yadav, and then the three seamers. Now, the only issue here is that if he plays three seamers with also Pandya bowling of late, it could be a little bit of an excess as far as the bowling options are concerned. But I think Rohit Sharma will go in with that particular luxury, because in case somebody has a bad day, he needs to have a little bit of a backup. Of course, the only contention, if that is done, is that he needs to try and have a bit of depth in the batting. So that would perhaps force him to go for Akshar Patel instead of Kuldeep Yadav. It's good to have such headaches for a skipper, and we'll have to wait and see as to what Rohit Sharma does. And no matter what both the captains decide, the excitement and the anticipation is going to be really at its zenith. And we can look forward to a cracker of a game, provided the weather gods are kind enough. Because it's been a case of the rain playing hide and seek in Sri Lanka. And I'm sure that the fans across the border and also all over the world will be looking forward to a full game between the arch rivals, India and Pakistan. On that note, I'd like to wind up this episode by saying, have a good evening, and may the best team win.